more ugly people in the world than there are pretty people. So if you are a beautiful person, if you are pretty, you need to put yourself in better locations. You need to become rich because you will always be the target. People hate pretty people. This is just the tip of the day. I saw this video of this guy saying that he doesn't like going out where ugly people are. And a lot of people were kind of upset what he said, but I get it. If you are an attractive person and you are around ugly people, ugly women, ugly men, you will be the target. They will try to humble you. They will bully you. They will try to embarrass you. They will try to call you out. Even if you step out in something really cute and simple like I am today, they will try to find a way to make your life miserable. Okay? Understand me. Understand what I'm saying. This is true. This is why you don't see supermodels or celebrities or people who are like in the limelight out and about doing regular activities. They always do private events. They always do invite only. They always do exclusive things, okay? There's a reason. They stay at the best hotels. They shop at certain places in certain areas and certain locations because envy, jealousy, hate is a demon. And it's a vile demon, and it will ruin you. It will destroy you. And you have to be very, 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 very careful. I don't think we're ready to have the conversation about how many people navigate through society with the illusion of pretty privilege, but they're really just thin. And they get very jealous and very irritated by people who are fat, confident, pretty, and are able to make money off of it. As someone who exists in a larger body and has relative popularity on social media and able to monetize off of it, the amount of thin people who think they are better than me simply because they're thin and they have the illusion of pretty privilege is wild. And while we're now in the conversation of how people are going to become content creators, I think we need to be really, really honest about how the way you look and the way you carry yourself while looking that way is going to dictate how people view you. They're okay with when you're the fat, funny friend. They're okay when you're on a weight loss journey. They're okay when you're insecure and your man looks like he plays D&D all day and it's not someone he wants. But if you have the audacity to be pretty, if you have the audacity to be confident, you have the audacity to have an attractive partner, if you have the audacity to be able to monetize or have people actually care about what you have to say outside of, you saying that you're ugly, you're going to go through it. And we're not ready for that. And people will tell you like, "Oh, it's just because you're jealous because I'm pretty." Girl, my face card has never declined. We can't say the same about yours. Bye.
The power of pretty privilege is undeniable, but there's one thing that's even better that most women never talk about. Most entrepreneurs, career women, high-performing women that are above the average, they already know the power behind this. They know that pretty privilege has its perks, but here's what most women are missing: poise. See, poise is the difference between what gets you in the room and what keeps you in the room. Pretty privilege can open doors, get you invites into rooms, get you opportunities, higher pay, more influence, and that's just because we live in a visual world. Pretty privilege can get you opportunities by luck or just being at the right place at the right time. Poise gets you places by strategy and positioning. Here's what this looks like. Poise is the ability to be graceful even under pressure. It's the ability to control your mannerisms, your tone, the way that you carry yourself. This is how poise shows up, and this is so different than pretty privilege. I've seen so many pretty women mess up opportunities because they don't have social skills. They don't know when to speak and when not to speak. They don't know how to walk gracefully instead of showing that your feet are obviously hurting in your heels. It's a soft skill of the successful that every woman needs to master. I've been blessed enough to learn poise from a very young age. I trained in pre-professional ballet for over 15 years and I learned the power of poise. I learned how to control my body, how to control my movement, my posture, even when my body was aching so bad. I learned how to carry myself with grace, how to not be careless with my movements. And this has made such a difference in my life, especially professionally. There's been rooms where I go in where I'm looked at as the young woman. So most people expect me not to conduct myself with grace or with poise because I'm so young. But many are often surprised when they see how I carry myself in rooms. They often tell me, "Oh my goodness, you're so elegant, you're so poised. I did not expect you to act like this." And this automatically builds a reputation in the minds of people who are much older, much wiser, much more successful, and calling the shots in their fields and in their industries. And it's allowed me to be able to stay in the rooms, not just because I look the part, but they're so impressed by my poise that they want to keep inviting me into the room. Now, I had an advantage from a young age learning how to master poise and presence and grace. But even if you didn't train in ballet, take etiquette classes, there's still ways to master it in your everyday routine. This is why I created the Polished Playbook, because I don't believe you transform in a grand rebrand. I believe it's in the small everyday routines that most people overlook. And this is how I help women show up more poised and polished every single day, and creating refined routines that make you more soft, because true, feminine, successful women are not just successful, they're also soft. So yes, your looks matter, but poise is what really sets you apart. The playbook is in the link in my bio.
All right, good morning. So I noticed something very interesting yesterday. Yesterday, for the first time like ever, I stepped out looking like this. It was Mother's Day yesterday. And I just wanted to give my mom some flowers. Let me show you the flowers. I just wanted to get my mom some flowers for Mother's Day. But she wakes up like super early. So she was up at like the ass crack of dawn. I was like, girl, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to surprise you here. But she was like, no, I want to go get breakfast before it gets full, because she just hates crowded spaces. And she knew it was going to get full on Mother's Day. So I was up and I was about to go to the same place just to grab her some flowers. And she was like, come with us to breakfast, like you're already here. You know, it'll be a nice Mother's Day thing, right? So I stepped out looking like this because I had something to do today and I needed my hair done. And my hair's in rollers right now, right? So I'm like, and it was windy and rainy and misty yesterday. So I was like, there's no way I'm stepping out for 30 minutes, 2 minutes away from my house to take out my rollers, and then my hair is ruined and then I have to do my hair again. So I was just like, begrudgingly, okay, I'll come with you guys, right? Looking like this. So this is the first time, if you guys don't know, this is how I usually step out looking.
I miss you, and I will always miss you, but I cannot live.
Right? I'll insert a clip here. So, especially when like I'm doing something, you know, like fancy, like a Mother's Day thing, right? And I noticed yesterday was the first time that like I was acknowledged in conversation with my family, and like, you know, they could see me, and like the things that I was saying, like they were actually listening and they weren't like disregarding the things I was saying. Like my family, guys, like my family, like this is not just some random stranger or random man. Like this is the first time I saw them actually engaging with me and listening to me. And I found that so interesting, because was it because I didn't look intimidating? I feel like maybe I look a certain way and I'm just immediately like disregarded and kind of, you know, made fun of and like put down and stuff like that. And yesterday was like the first time I've ever been out with family and felt like I was really being listened to and really being like engaged with like a human. And I just found that really interesting, because like, not to harp on this like dark side of pretty privilege thing, but like I just think it's very interesting, like the way that you look will literally affect how you are digested by even people that have known you since you were so small, like for your whole life. The way you look still affects how people engage with you. And if you look too perfect, people are going to try their best to just ignore you. I don't know, maybe something about that light is just blinding. I feel like my energy is like that a lot. People just tend to react like, you know, too bright, too much, shut up, too much, right? And yesterday was like the first time that I just didn't feel that at all. I felt so good. I felt so just accepted, welcomed, listened to, just like seen. And it's because I looked a little ugly, I think. I looked like this. And I never step out like this. So wow, I don't know what that means.
Creating pretty privilege, because I get a lot of people asking me, well, what if I need to level up, or what if I need to look better? What if I don't look as good as the next girl? And blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to tell y'all easy ways to create pretty privilege. First of all, Work with what you already have. You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money. Work with what you have until you get more. You don't have to go out and get more. Okay. So, first thing I'm going to suggest that you can work with to create pretty privilege. The first thing you need to do is practice good skincare, because your face is what people see first. And, when they're up close in your face, you can't use a filter, you know? So, your skincare and your makeup game needs to be a priority. So, get you, some nice skincare. I'm probably going to do a review on some skincare that I've been using and the next video. But wash your face, exfoliate, don't sleep in your makeup, do whatever you got to do. Okay. Get you some good makeup. If you watch a couple of YouTube tutorials on how to apply makeup, make sure you're doing that. Okay. Masks and everything. The next thing you want to make sure that you're doing is getting enough water. Get you a big cup and drink water. This will help a lot of things. Skin, digestive, mood, breath, nails, hair, everything. So get you a big thing and start drinking water. Tiki Viki, thank you for being a member. Sprinkle, sprinkle. All right, get you some water. Another thing is sleep. Get enough rest. Don't stress yourself out. Don't stay up super late unless you can sleep super late. Because if you don't get enough sleep, your body does not have enough time to recover from everything that you've done. Okay? So therefore, get enough sleep. Catch up on your sleep on the weekends if you're not able to get enough sleep during the week. Take some supplements or vitamins or whatever it is you take to make yourself, energetic and things like that. That's good. All those things are good. Moisturize. I can't tell y'all enough how important it is to moisturize. Oils. Oils are your friend. Lotions are good, but you need oil. Okay. I keep oils on my desk. And while I'm actually going live, I'm always putting on oils. Or when I'm sitting here just doing nothing, I'm oiling myself. I'm oiling my legs. I'm oiling my hands, my arms, my elbows, right here. Oil. I have this giant thing of oil that I got. It's just almond and rosehip oil. And look how much has already been, I just sit here and moisturize all day. I've already used this one up. You see it's empty. I have another one over there that's almost empty. But oiling yourself makes your skin shiny. It also helps prevent a lot of like those little ingrown hairs, and it also rejuvenates your skin and doesn't make you look older than what you are. A lot of women my age, their hands look old. Every time I'm sitting down doing nothing, I'm oiling my hands. Lotion I do as well, but I use way more oil than I do lotion. Okay, so skin is another thing on your body that also gives you pretty privilege, because it looks like you're healthy. It looks like you're vibrant. And just, I didn't even put any oil on my hand today. There's no oil on my hand. This is just how it looks naturally because I oil so much. Okay. I've just literally washed my hands and this is what they look like. So when you oil yourself a lot, your skin is going to become supple and moisturized. And even if you forget to moisturize once or twice after you wash your hands, they still look like this. Okay. You're conditioning your skin. So oil, whatever kind you like, ma'am. Just any kind. I got all kinds of oils. Oils. Love oils. Especially the kind that smell good. If you're sensitive to smell, then just get the kind that are natural or don't have any scent. Okay, sprinkle. I'm trying to get through this, but I'll answer these towards the after I'm finished. I'm gonna go back and answer these. Okay, but I'm trying to get through this first. Any oils will do. Any oils that are good for your skin that are sold in the skincare section, whatever oils you choose are good. All right. Next, after or before you oil, in your shower, exfoliate. You can get like a scrub. You can have some type of mitt or whatever that you exfoliate with, but definitely exfoliating also gets you smooth skin. Exfoliate, it also helps with ingrown hairs, smoother skin tone. You can get exfoliating scrubs or brushes or whatever, but just exfoliate. It also is good for your lymph system, which helps circulate your blood and also bring more blood to your face, to your skin, to make you look more vibrant and youthful. Okay. It's also good for flushing out the toxins in your body, just like water. Drink a lot of water. Smell. Okay. You're going to want to smell good no matter what. You are going to want people to remember you as being very pretty and smelling very good. Okay. And I'm not talking about just perfume. Y'all know I'm gonna throw this in there. So if y'all are looking for a good perfume, Bold Love is what I've been using lately. Look how much I've been used. Look how much has been used. So I've been using this. This is very girly, I'm pretty type of scent. Like, and y'all can use my coupon code Shira7 to get percentage off. Links in the comment. But before perfume, we gotta focus on our bodies.
Realized is not discussed a lot in the guy community is the fact that the pretty girl privilege also applies for guys. And I'll use myself as an example. Never been handsome, really don't care, honestly speaking. Like, it's never been a thing that really shatters my confidence. Yes, when I was younger, but now whatever. So it's interesting that some of the realities that my more attractive friends live are not really the same as mine. For instance, something stupid. Never in my life have I ever had a girl in my DM saying, Tando, I like you, want to go out. In fact, I've never had a girl ask me out, period, because I'm not really, I'm not really that attractive. And it's fine, whatever the case may be. My friends, on the other hand, that's a daily occurrence. For them, it's common. How share DM ubona fela girls on some dude I want to take you on and so on and so forth. As a young man, obviously I won't lie, that does affect your confidence because you start asking yourself, okay, what's wrong with me? Like, what's wrong with me? I believe I'm a good guy and so on and so forth. And it affects your confidence. But the older you get, really, you're like, whatever's whatever. No one cares really. Like, whatever. Another facet that it affects is how people perceive you. I remember planning an event in university and I called a potential investor. This investor got introduced to him through a mutual friend via the phone. So this man didn't know how I look. He just work a phone. And this was, early WhatsApp days and so on and so forth. So you had to call a person really. That was the time. And then I remember this guy stayed in town. So I was like, yo, I need to go to town. A friend of mine, I asked him, dude, let's go to town. Going deep in town. So I need to, at least, if you don't mind, please go with me because, it's the city. I won't feel safe. And I'm going deep in town. May you please go with me? And he's like, Fade. He goes with me. We get there. Funny how this investor honestly thought my more attractive friend, who was built like a Zulu warrior, thought that he was the guy asking for the investment. And it's only within that awkward moment where he's like, no. Not me. That he realized his error. Truth of the matter is, it parallels with guys. I think the difference is that guys obviously have a rather toxic culture of not expressing our emotions, and most guys don't like feeling as if they are less of a guy. Like the feeling that some other guy is better than you, it's a feeling that most guys just don't like. So the fact that if I go to a certain situation, do this test whenever you want. Ask any random guy, show them a picture of the most beautiful girl you can ever find, and ask them if they have the potential to ask them out. That guy will say yes. That guy will say, of course. He will overlook all other factors in life and have the confidence of the gods that definitely he can achieve the feat of getting that particular woman and so on and so forth. Not realizing, again, for us who are not so attractive, we had to learn seduction, for instance. We had to go through not the process, but we had to take the time and study women's psychology and how then I can explain my masculinity in a positive manner. Confidence is the only thing that saved us from a life of obscurity and so on and so forth. That the only reason why most of the opportunities that I got in my life is because of being confident. It's not because I'm handsome or it's because I'm presentable. It's because when I get to a stage, my self-defense mechanism is, Tando, you only have one chance. You need to be confident. You need to explain, or you need to put your best foot forward. And that's the only thing that has saved me from feeling insecure about not being so attractive and so on and so forth. But the reality is, it is true that some guys who are more attractive, more handsome, have it way easier in life than us who are not so appealing to the eye, according to society. I mean, I remember one girl, she was adamant, she hated it. She hated the fact that because she's more prettier and she hated the fact that she had things easier. It felt, for her as a feminist, it felt as if she's being undermined. She's first seen and then heard type vibes. And it reminded me of, I forgot the doctor's name, but the first conference that I attended, university at UFS, this doctor basically explained how beauty changes throughout beauty among African women in the diaspora and African, basically. And I found it interesting how in America, for instance, the more darker you are, the more African you are. In certain parts of Africa, the lighter you are, the more beautiful you are. I won't really get into those dynamics because honestly, I don't remember most of them. But what I do remember from that conversation was that indeed, the pretty privilege, it is something that's being studied. It has empirical evidence that it does exist. That women who are perceived to be more beautiful, according to society, have it far easier in life than those that are not. Which is unfair, obviously. It is what it is. But the same thing applies to guys as well. Trust me when I say it applies to guys as well, that guys who are perceived to be more attractive in society have it far easier than guys that are not. I'm part of the group that's not. And I'm okay with that. I really am. I'm too old to feel insecure about how I look, really. But it's interesting because as a young male growing up, one had to deal with very, not really complex, but you had the somewhat inferiority complex that I've never been as good as my friends, and so on and so forth. And you had to work really hard to overcome that self-destructive belief and so on and so forth. But it's a reality. It's really a reality that I wanted to share, that maybe someone out there can maybe share more stories about their life. It'll be interesting to hear how others have been affected by this social phenomena. But anyway.
I made a video about pretty privilege, right? And I have a lot of conventionally attractive women in my comment section pretty upset because they feel that I was implying that they have no right to talk about the experiences they've been subjected to as conventionally attractive women. And I don't agree with that. I think that you have every right to speak on your experiences and your feelings because I can't police what you can and cannot say. What I do have a problem with is you feeling the need to assert yourself as more attractive than others, other women specifically, and more importantly, your need to feel as if you are more victimized because you are more attractive. When I think of the oppression Olympics as a concept, I think of white queer people who are unwilling to recognize that their race plays a part in them being more tolerated, more accepted, and therefore making their queerness easier to navigate. And in that same breath, attractive women, conventionally attractive women, often do not recognize the way that them fitting into Eurocentric beauty standards makes their womanhood easier to navigate. Them being of a certain size, fitting into the fat-phobic beauty standard, makes life easier, makes men more kind to you, more respectful. If they fit the ableist beauty standard, it makes so much of this life easier. Now, of course, being an attractive woman does not remove you from the horrors of womanhood. It doesn't remove the danger, the violence, the misogyny. But the reason I'm saying this is because I don't like this idea that it makes things worse for you. And the reason I'm saying that is because, I do have to acknowledge that there are probably unique experiences that apply to attractive women. For example, this idea that women are going to be more jealous of you, and that sucks. You might not be able to trust your girlfriends as much, and that's a symptom of the patriarchy. That's not oppression. That sucks, but that is not oppression. And with that being said, I want us to question this idea that hot women have it worse. The reason why I question this narrative is because it feeds into the perfect victim ideology. But beyond that, it delegitimizes and invalidates the experiences of women who are unattractive, but have experienced the same violence at the same scale, but perhaps in more invisible ways. Oftentimes when we think about violence against women, we think about it in this very stereotypical media-driven way. We think of the pretty girl in the movie. Oh no, there's a dark alleyway. Bad thing happened, right? Now, of course, there are movies like Precious or Happiness with Philip Seymour Hoffman, in which we do see unattractive women being subjected to violence. But what's funny about those movies is they have been made into a joke. And why do you think that is? If hot women have it worse, why are there so many little girls getting assaulted? If hot women have it worse, why are there old women in retirement homes with Alzheimer's and dementia getting violated as I speak? If hot women have it worse, why do we refuse to believe ugly women and fat women that get assaulted by celebrities? I also want to say that I think that these women who are claiming that they have it worse because they are hotter, they're not speaking from a place of malicious intent, but rather they have no idea how to comfort themselves. They have no idea how to deal with the trauma that they have been subjected to. And truth be told, it can be comforting to claim or believe that something happened because of how beautiful you are. It can help us attempt to process something or attempt to understand something when, bottom line, something like that, the violence they were subjected to, has everything to do with power and nothing to do with how well they did their makeup that day. I also just think we need to be careful about saying hot women have it worse than ugly women, because let's take the hypothetical ugly woman. I don't even like that word. Say she puts on a scandalous dress and some bomb makeup and she looks better than she typically would. Say ugly woman in the fire outfit gets assaulted. Is that her fault then? Okay, because she made herself more attractive. She was wearing the scandalous outfit. She knew she was looking good that night. She might entice someone. Someone might be too excited seeing her. You guys get where I'm going with this? Bottom line, these conventionally attractive women are wearing their victimhood as a badge of honor to distinguish themselves from other women without recognizing that those ugly women that they are claiming cannot even begin to imagine what they have experienced. Those ugly women have that same badge of honor, that same victimhood, tucked away in a drawer because we're unwilling to listen to them. We're unwilling to entertain the idea that someone who isn't nice to look at might be vulnerable. And I want to say this last part with love, but a lot of us are overestimating how attractive we are because we want to find reasoning for the violence we have been subjected to. We want to make sense of things. But I'm sorry, when I was 15 and I got raped, you think I got raped because I was a 15-year-old baddie? I was wearing Bermuda shorts and a Hawaiian shirt, and I was 15! You think I looked like this? I didn't. I did not look that good. But my rapist saw an opportunity and he took it. Bottom line, you are not helping yourself or your fellow woman by saying, the reason I've experienced these things is because I am more beautiful than XYZ group. You didn't get harassed in the workplace because you're hot. Ugly women experience the same fucking thing. You didn't get stalked because you're hot. Ugly women experience the same fucking thing and often get murdered for it. Okay? All of these things, your boyfriend abusing you? That's not because you're so hot and he wanted to hold on to your hotness. Trust me, that charm that you have, it has nothing to do with what these people did to you. Nothing. Anyway, sorry that this video is 6 minutes long, but I wanted to make this post. I took like a day to allow my thoughts to settle and sit. I really enjoy the fact that you guys, actually think about the things that I say and post. Like, it actually means the world to me. Positive or negative reaction. I'm getting you to think about something, and that is all I can really ask for. But just consider what I'm saying. Consider what I'm saying if you disagree.
Okay, I've talked about this topic before, and I just kind of want to continue it, but looks matter. In our society today that we live in, looks matter a lot. And if your goal in 2025 doesn't involve you physically becoming the best version of yourself, you need to make it so, because you need to understand that also in our system right now, looks is currency. And I before y'all come for me, before because I know y'all, I know y'all like to cancel. I'm just piggybacking from the talk that I've had before, and I'm just piggybacking from a lot of this conversation that has been happening and it's been going around. And I need you guys to understand that there are so many factors in life right now that you're not getting just because of how you present yourself. And again, when I'm talking about looks and becoming and looking good and looking better, there is a subjective look that this society really goes for. But what I'm talking about is you as a personal, like you as a person, becoming the best version of you, not just mentally, but physically. Because at the end of the day, we are very judgmental creatures. We are very judgmental creatures. And the first thing we see is this. The first thing we see is this. And it's funny because I'm talking about it because I understand that, like, especially in North America, like, guys, I'm 5'8". I'm cooked. Thank God I'm gay. Thank God. Like, there are days where I'm like, thank God I'm gay, because being 5'8" as a straight man, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying. But the only thing I can work on is going to the gym, build a little bit more muscle. And I took some books again, of that I have that contain some human behaviors and the way, and unfortunately, a lot of the research suggests that it does. It really does matter. Like, when you look at someone, when you're on the street and you see someone and then they're presentable, they look good, the first thing you think of, especially we're quick to judge, the first thing you think of is that this person's life is great. This person has his shit together. Even though it's true or not, it doesn't matter. What I'm talking about here is the currency that you get from the looks that you have. As I said, looks are currency in the world we live in, and the opportunities that pretty privilege does give you is insurmountable. And I've said it before. When I was growing up, and I was fat, I was big. And I've been teased as, like, every single name of a pig you can think of by my family and friends. Even growing up, I kind of held that stature that I'm always going to be bigger. I'm always going to look like this. Even when I started dancing, I lost a lot of weight. But even then, it stuck to my head that I'm going to be this porky pig. Not until I started going to the gym and started working out and started kind of getting broader, people treated me better. Like, the interaction has been better. And it's funny because it's like I'm like, guys, it's just like, you can't just talk about, like, oh, your arms and stuff. Like, it's annoying, but at the same time, people treat you with some kind of respect. And then whenever I talk to people are always like, when you see people who are fit, you see discipline. And it's kind of true, because I have to really stay disciplined to get to where I am. I'm like, I kind of lost track in the past weeks. But again, going back to the book, it's one of my favorite books when it comes to human behaviors. The halo effect alone really confirms this bias that we have. Like, when you look at someone who looks good, that creates a halo effect of thinking that that person is disciplined, that person has their shit together. And, like, when it comes to opportunities, when it comes to jobs, they look at that and be like, let's hire them. Let's take him out. Let's be friends with them. The social opportunities that you get for looking good, oh my God. And I see this every day. And it's like right in front of my face. And I know this is a topic that gets so heated with everyone, but I need you guys to really, if this sinks into you, 2025 will be a better year for you when you truly work on really making yourself a little bit more presentable. Don't shoot me. Don't come for me. A lot of it is rooted with a lot of studies involved, and there are studies that really supports these. Also, it also goes to show that if you try to make yourself hotter, I don't know, like, if you try to make yourself look good for the new year, it's also, I feel like your life is gonna get better. Like, your life will get better when you try to make it, because in order for you to look good, you're gonna eat better. You're gonna wake up earlier. You're gonna go to the gym. You're gonna put yourself into discipline mode. You're gonna do hard things. That's what's gonna create discipline. So there's really not a lose-lose situation when you try to make yourself hotter. Again, when I say hotter, the best possible version of you can be. I can't wake up and be like, I want to be like Liam Hemsworth or something. Like, I'm not like 6'5", blue eyes. I could be in finance, but I'm not. But when you work on yourself and become the best presentable self that you can be, and the hottest version of yourself can be, a lot of things will follow. Because when you make one part of your life better, other parts of your life will become better. And let's not let's not make this pretty privilege looks matter thing a taboo. Let's not. Like, it's so stupid. Why are we crucifying this? Like, I feel like some of it may be rooted in jealousy or envy, and a lot of it are rooted in anger for sure, because there are people out there who are getting opportunities that they don't deserve just because of how they look. I get it. That's the world we live in. But I need you guys to look at that as kind of like a signpost. Don't go crazy where you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna go broke just to get like lip fillers and everything. And I understand that there are other negative factors that can come with it, like body dysmorphia. But if you can channel your hottest version of yourself and work on it, I assure you that your life will get better. And if your life just gets better by you being disciplined because you're working on your looks and working on like being the best version of yourself, that's already a great start of the year. That's already a great like accomplishment of the year. So yeah. Don't shoot me. Just reiterating what people said. Anyways, love you all.